Are you a transgender woman who has transitioned from male to female, only to realize that other people around you are being a bit sexist towards you now that you are a female? That's what we're talking about in today's video. So hello everyone, my name is Autumn Asphodel and I am a coach to help you live your best life free of stress and anxiety and worries. And today we're talking about how to deal with sexism as a transgender woman. So enjoy the video. If you are a transgender person, primarily a male to female, you may notice that you experience some sexism, primarily from men after transitioning. This may not always happen, and it may depend on how well you pass as a woman, but it may come as a shock to you as you've never experienced this when living your life as a male. You may be wondering what's going on and why. Well, first let's define what sexism is. It is primarily segregation based on sex, when people view you as inferior or not capable solely because of your sex. Since you pass as a woman and do not appear as a transgender individual, any segregation based on your sex as a woman would be considered sexism and not discrimination based on your gender identity, which is a separate issue. The reason this is so surprising is because as a male, you may not have experienced sexism. While it is mostly women who experience this, men can as well, but it's far less common. As a woman now, after you've transitioned, you may find people who don't take you as seriously as when you were a male, and may not let you do certain activities you were perfectly capable of when you were a male. This is unfortunately part of society and how humans view one another that has its roots in the physiology of human beings. So it is true that men experience far less sexism than women do. While it can happen, it certainly is to a lesser frequency than women do. And this often comes down to how society may view women, but it also comes down to just how females and males are different to begin with. Like for example, men tend to be stronger, physically stronger than women are, and that can come with some sexism that men can say you're not capable of doing certain things that men can do. While that may be true to a degree, that doesn't mean that women are completely incapable of doing certain things. So when you are a transgender woman and you are living as a male, maybe you didn't experience this type of sexism before, and then once you transition, you've noticed it. And it especially happens if you pass really well as a woman, because often if you don't pass very well and you still present and you still kind of look like a transgender person, like a transgender person who was once a male and people can tell, then that can come with its own sort of discrimination. But we're talking about people who can pass very well and who do not who just come off as a cisgender woman, or who other people think is a cisgender woman. So a lot of times you will often find that you could be discriminated against based on how people perceive your sex. And it can be something that many people are not intending to do, but it ends up happening. Despite the natural roots of some of the inequality, or rather the differences between men and women, it still may be off-putting to you after you've transitioned. If you find yourself in this situation, then realize that some people, especially some men, view women as inferior, and nothing you can do can change that. No amount of effort can change someone who has a preconceived notion that women are inferior. You will find very quickly who you shouldn't be around if you feel discriminated against around certain people. While it may seem obvious to you, experiencing life as both a man and a woman, that human beings are all equal despite their sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, race, nationality, religion, and so on, many people will still not see it because they may not have been through the hardships you have. Additionally, they may not see it because they see systemic discrimination based on these things that make us appear different instead of the broader picture. There is no reason why someone who is a woman cannot do what a man does. However, be aware that some tasks may not be able to be done. A good example, men by default are physically stronger than women. This is because of hormones and a part of how the human body is. You can push for equality, but also be conscious of the physiological differences between a man and female's body. This raises another interesting thing. As a trans woman, you have a male body, but have transitioned to a female, meaning that you may have some physiological advantages that cisgender women do not have. However, due to hormones, many of these advantages are diminished, but some may still remain, so make the most out of your skills and abilities and be the best version of yourself. The number one way of letting go of sexism is to be yourself and be a confident and strong woman. Even if others see you as inferior, see yourself as the strong person you are, because that is what is most important. Let me know how this works for you. Have a great day. I personally haven't been discriminated against when it comes to my sex as a woman. However, I certainly have realized that people take me less seriously as a woman than they did as a male. Now, while I didn't have too much conversations with many people as a male, I feel as though men are taken more seriously in society, whereas women, not so much. And some of the activities that I like, some of the things that I do are technically more masculine type of activities, if you wish to put a gender on them. But that doesn't mean really anything, because I believe that human beings, regardless of your sex, your gender, your sexual orientation, any of that, it doesn't matter. We are all equal, and once we start treating each other as equal, then we can live a much more peaceful and happy life. So treat your fellow human beings as equal, as part of you, and you will get the same treatment in return. Be sure to check out the amazing merchandise over at Asphodel Shop for some inspiring designs. I want to thank you all so very much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts on it, and I will see you all again very soon.